rise and shine, get up and go. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Grab a cup of coffee or hot cocoa. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Grab a cup of Java or espresso. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Tina Valentina is the host, you see. She's as classy as she can be. Grab a cup of coffee or espresso with the Long Island Breakfast Club show. I say rise and shine, get up and go. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Grab a cup of coffee or espresso with the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Another cup of Java or espresso. Another cup of coffee or hot cocoa. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show.
I gotta come see her.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's Halloween today on the Long Island Breakfast Club show. We have some fabulous women who you're going to talk to and meet. But quickly, let me introduce Michele Migliore,
Melchiorre,
Moon Lady,
Magic Moon Lady,
and Asia Lee, who has been on the show so many times. She has so many things to discuss. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Irene Litzis, who I saw yesterday, and we connected, and she decided to show up.
That's right.
And very happy to have her from Corellis Cheese and Heartland.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Kathleen Clapman, the gypsy goddess. I heard people call you the boss lady. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Everyone is dressed beautifully. I did not dress up today because I wanted to wear my new pin. Thank you, Susan. I got this gorgeous pin. And it's good luck, and it's a spider. I don't wear spiders, but I am today. And I love the pin. I got a lot of, compliments on it today. So we're going to first start out, because we always do a little, housekeeping in the morning. But it's not morning, because it's evening now. We're in this great new studio. I love the screen. Thank you, Bobby. You're doing a great job. And we just took our promotion pictures next door in our new studio, which anybody is always available to come. It's very inexpensive, and you can do your own video. You don't have to be on the show, but we like you on the show, too. Happy birthday. We have 2 birthdays. We have a slide. Bobby, you have to show it. Come on. There it is. That's the owner of this studio. His name is Bobby Lacera. He is great. Happy birthday. He got his gift already. And we always go to the pizzeria here on the corner. We got Patricia Balestras. We missed her birthday. So yesterday, just a few of us, Terry Magro planned a little quick. And I got to see her. So happy birthday, Patricia. And I tell you, I am just thrilled to be here with all of you beautiful women.
Thank
you.
you.
The karma. I don't know. I feel very strong. Do you feel it?
Yes, I said this energy vibration here is so beautiful.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So
Five women.
this table looks great. First, we start with a, what do you want to say for Halloween? What do you want to say?
Cheers to the spirits.
Cheers to the spirits. Here, here's yours.
Right.
And
Keep away the
thank
evil
you for
ones.
the cupcake.
Yes.
All right.
Boo.
Boo. It says B-O-O. Let's say it together. Boo.
Boo.
Boo. And we have cupcakes if anybody wants some candy. So let's start with the Witch's Parlor, which I think is a great name.
Thank you.
So how did that happen? What do? You're metaphysical. You have a
How
shop.
did it happen? It happened many, many years ago. As a child, I was always intuitive to people, and I would have very vivid dreams. And I had a grandmother that had a house in Ozone Park, Queens, and every time I would sleep at her house, I would have these crazy dreams. And then one day, the Blessed Mother appeared to me in her house, and I never said anything. And then it kept happening to me, and I said, Grandma, I see that lady. And she was a very devout Catholic. And she turned around and she's like, you see her too? And it all started from there.
Oh my goodness. So Grandma and you started together.
Yeah. And then as I went to school, I was always different than the other kids. I was always more into the arts rather than the books, And And I always read people, and if I had a bad feeling, it happens. If something happens to somebody, I knew it was going to happen. And I didn't really like it in the beginning because it made me a little anxious when I was younger. So throughout my teenage years, I kind of like was practicing in the closet, you know.
In the closet?
In the closet.
She's in the closet.
Because I loved my candles, and I loved my crystal balls.
Yeah,
you
they're
know?
gorgeous.
And one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to break out, because after 9/11, I noticed that metaphysical works got very popular because people needed healing.
Yes. Well, that's very true.
Yes. And then I said, you know what? My friends used to always say, I love that necklace, can you make me one? Always, you know, with stuff like that. And it was started out as something like that was something to do. It wasn't supposed to be a business. And it blossomed into a business that I have clients from out of state.
Well, you said you're going to be in Salem, Massachusetts?
We go to Salem all the time.
Wow.
Me and Kathleen and our friends, we've been going there every year. I've been going there since I'm 19 years old. And I just love what I do. And I started reading cards, and I've developed beautiful friendships with beautiful people. And I tell you, not everybody can adhere to what we do.
Oh, no. Well, some
Because
people find it a little overwhelming.
I gotta say, everybody that I have come across so far has always been very accepting. There might be like this one person or two that I wish that they would open their mind up and realize
Well,
that,
if they get sick, they will.
you know, I think they don't understand it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, you know, it's always that person that goes to Sunday service is the one that judges the worst.
Well, I had last year on a vixen, that's Good Witch, that's what I'm told.
Yes.
And the neighborhood went berserk. Not here where I lived, because I was in a different spot.
Right.
And they went berserk.
You
And
see-
not only that, they tortured the woman, and she's a lovely woman.
Oh my goodness. I'm not
So-
used to that kind of negative stuff. So
No.
when it does happen to me, I pray for those people, because I say the ones that fear and judge are the ones that are the weakest. They're the ones that are the weak souls. All right? Because
Well, you don't judge people.
you know-
You accept people. You might not agree. You can agree to disagree,
exactly.
but you don't judge people.
But you don't make comments, and you don't make somebody else feel uncomfortable. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because it's just not right. But I literally have a box full of cards and envelopes. You've seen it, right?
Yeah.
That I don't even know half these people, and they write me these beautiful things. I'm constantly getting gifts in the mail,
How nice is that?
you know. And it's like there's this one woman, Janet. I know she's going to watch. I'm planning on meeting her in
Hi, Janet.
Massachusetts. Hi, Janet Gallucci. Janet Gallucci.
And if you're watching, share in Boston. We need that too.
yes.
Because
Yeah.
we travel everywhere, all over
Yes.
social media. And Tuesday, you guys will be on channel 115
Oh, that's
at
great.
11
Nice.
in the Optimum. So
And my business just blossomed. It got to the point that I was a little overwhelmed and I couldn't handle it because I have no body. I am the band. I do everything.
know, one-man
I
band,
craft. I talk to people. You know, once you do a reading, people want to talk to you more.
Yes.
I will give my time diligently to anybody.
well,
you know what I mean?
think every single one of these ladies are one-man bands. Am I right?
You know, you do
Yes.
it all. It gets overwhelming at times.
does.
You know, but I love what I do. I craft.
So what is this?
This is a wand.
Is it magical? Can I touch
This
it
is-
and
you-
wish
you-
for something?
you
I
can.
tell you, it's super powerful.
It is.
Oh, wow.
It is.
Wow, this is
Wrapped in
gorgeous.
copper, because copper is a component for energy.
Oh, I'm
A
giving a
conductor.
wish. I'm giving
Take
a
my
wish.
cape off.
I have a wish for somebody right now. So
Oh.
here you go. You want to touch it? It's
What
beautiful.
do we do with the wand?
I just move the energies with it, you know, over my candles, over my altar, you know what I mean? And it's a conductor. It's like when you use salt.
It's like a
Salt
connector,
is a
right?
conductor
Yeah.
too. Salt moves energy. You know, crystals go back to the pyramid days, the Egyptians. The Egyptians were all buried with their crystals and their cats, right?
So I'm actually using salt in my mouth these days because I have a little thing
Well, you're
going on.
cleansing yourself.
So what the hell? This is good. Maybe the salt.
It is.
The reason this is so powerful because everything around us is energy, right?
Yes.
We see it as particles, and the energy is vibrating. That's why we see the solid and stuff. And the copper wire, what it does, it conducts the energy. And when you have a point, this is where it's the most powerful. So when you point it at something or where you want more
Wow.
energy.
That's the apex, I guess.
in my
And
eye.
it could help things grow too. The
All positive.
So this is
You can
really
say-
different. I bet people like to have you make
I
them,
sell
right?
quite a few of them. I make custom ones for people. You know, I kind of customize their crystals. You know, like
Do you
what
make them
they
smaller,
need.
or do they have to be that big?
Yes, I make them smaller. Actually, I don't even have any left because I sold them all. Every time I craft them, I sell them. And this is my personal one. That
So
I
what
bought.
is with the amethyst?
You
I
know,
noticed a lot
amethyst.
of amethyst, which I know there's a reason behind amethyst, right? There's something about
Amethyst
that
is my
stone.
favorite stone. Amethyst is a great healing stone.
Protection.
And protection, and it also protects you from psychic attacks. You know, I mean, really, you know, you could even go to a cemetery and pick something up. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're vulnerable, if you let it happen, but you know, you're in control. And if you
Okay.
generate good, you get good back. You know, because the bad energies, well, they can't touch me. You know what I mean?
All right, so here's a question. Like, I know the reason I bought this
Uh huh.
is because I felt I was getting bad luck and somebody was, for some reason, not happy with me. And then I had a lady come and she did all these things and it was good. She was gonging and doing this and she put me to sleep and, you know, it was like a
Well, you need the good old
to get
Sicilian
old-
grandmother to take
Yeah.
the malarkey off
Take
you.
the malarkey. So that's what I did.
Right,
And I
right,
felt
right,
a lot
right.
better, to be honest with you. And I don't know, I believe
the
it.
one
I
is
guess.
well,
an
the
old
sound
ancient
therapy is it's
Talisman.
Well, the sound is now being quantified in science. So,
Yes.
cymatics, like you can literally see how sound can make shapes.
Sound vibrations.
It's called cymatics.
That's interesting.
So, just because I am Greek and
Mm-hmm.
Louise, if don't say anything if she's listening, she always makes fun of me because you make everything Greek, but the word amethyst is a Greek word. It means not drunk.
Oh.
So in other words, not intoxicated.
That's another thing. I have gone out in my past, and I always used to put a piece of amethyst in my cup.
Really?
And one night, I was out in the club. This was like a few years back, and the girl took the cup. I went over to the bar, and I was like, "There's a crystal," and she looked at me like I was crazy. And then she found it, you know. And my friends know I do that. When you put a crystal in your alcohol, in your cup of alcohol, it will prevent you from getting drunk. That's what Romans. The Romans did
Really?
that.
I never
Right.
heard of that.
Well, it's,
Yes,
it's
and it's
from
the sobriety stone
right.
also.
So it is a Greek word.
Yes.
Which means not intoxicated.
Yes.
And it's based on the ancient belief
Yes.
that you can
Wow.
prevent drunkenness.
Every word comes from Greek derivative.
All right,
Every,
don't listen.
every
We have Latin and we have the
word.
Greek.
And we have
So
Italians too. Come on.
She
man.
needs a-
Polish.
she needs a mati. She needs a good mati. You know,
Yes.
What is a mati?
a mati is the evil eye.
Well,
the Greek
oh,
eye,
the
the
eye.
eye
yeah,
god.
I personally, I grew up without the mati. I grew up with the belief if you have something like a turquoise or blue,
Yes.
something blue would keep your
Okay,
Blue is a
negative
healing
energy.
color.
Right. So
yeah.
we don't need to have the actual.
Well, I have a jar. Patrick had to carry them. This big with all crystals in it. That color.
Right.
You know,
I mean, you
it's
can
really
wear a
weird.
mati, you can wear something, whatever makes you.
Cross.
Exactly, which
I have that too.
know.
I love my
It's-
crosses. I mean,
yeah.
I wear my crosses too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do. I mean, I just, it's one of those things. I don't think it matters. It's what you feel like it helps you bring in.
that was my point from the opening of the conversation is no matter what your journey is, just make it a good one.
Right.
You know, and
Be
people
good.
may think, oh, witch. They hear the word witch.
Well, it's not right.
Hollywood depicted that word and it made money on it because witch means wise woman. In Italian, strega, you know? Nothing. And listen, I've had people come to me and I'm like, I don't do that stuff. You know, I all goodness. And if somebody does harm me, I always say, you know, what's bestowed on me will mirror it back to you, but I would never intently want to harm. Why would I even want to do that? I actually feel sorry for people that hurt other people, you know?
Yes.
But I'm proud of what I am and who
Yes.
I am. I was raised Catholic. I still am Catholic. I mean,
Well, of
I went to
course.
Catholic school my whole life,
Right.
you know,
Me too.
basically.
So
But-
do we have a nice photo that we could show of the Witch's Parlor? I think we do, Bobby.
Do you?
In the meantime, what's your website? And
Well, I just have my Facebook page. You know what's ironically strange?
Oh,
I never needed to make a website. I blew
You're
up so
lucky.
much that I think if I made a website, I probably couldn't be able to handle it.
so which is it? The Witch's Parlor or is
it's
it Michele Migliore?
It's the Witch's Parlor. on Facebook. I am on Instagram too. My last name is Melchiorre. That's my maiden name.
I'm saying Migliore.
My married name is COMODO.
COMODO.
COMODO. Yeah, my
COMODO.
husband's family's from Bari.
Well, guess what?
That's
it-
my family's from
From
Bari.
Bari, yeah.
When you say Comodos, I'm in the Fontanas coming up in the second season. They get me to get sick, and they're calling them Comodos.
Oh,
Okay, and that's what I have on my my skin.
that
and
means
I think,
comfortable.
Yeah, but I think it's horrible,
Ah.
and they make fun of me, my family, on the show. Well, they're only Comodos. I go to the doctor, and
Everybody
So
always
that
says my
word,
name wrong.
it's funny, it
Even
came up.
even my maiden name, Melchiorre. Actually, when I did the ancestries with my cousins, because I have a very big family, my dad's one of like 8 brothers and sisters,
my goodness.
and me and my cousin Gina Melchiorre, we did our heritage, you know,
oh,
and
that's nice.
I went further into it, and I am actually a descendant from one of the kings. My family name, if you look in the Bible, he brought Jesus the gold. Melchiorre.
It's like the Three Kings. They bring all that up.
And I was doing all these investigation and
Wow.
tracing, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm linked to this loyalty from my last name.
Well, we're going to come back to you. We're going to talk about this Ouija thing here you have. But what else is here that you want? What is that?
This
Before we go to somebody next.
This is my driftwood art, which I
Wow.
dive. I dive myself. I live in the Catskill Mountains part-time, and I literally will go into the lake and I will
So you like a
get my stuff.
one of those.
You know, get my stuff.
Where's
yes.
the long dress when you do it? Do you wear
I just go right in. I go searching for driftwood, rocks. When I was in Greece, I brought back my suitcase must have weighed 100 pounds with everything I
goodness.
brought back. You know, and
Yeah.
I loved it. You
Well,
know,
Catskills are nice. I used to hang out there when I was young.
Yes,
my
I
godmother
live on a
had
mountain.
an Italian, a hotel, and we used to go all the
like
time.
Villa Vasila, Villa
It was
Maria.
called Otis View Manor.
Oh, I never heard of that.
Yeah, that was my godmother.
There's not that many Italians, mostly German dominated.
Now it's
up
not.
there,
Yeah.
You know.
So let's talk to you now. All right,
Okay.
Kathleen Clapman.
Yes.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to
I
meet
love.
you.
Why do they call you the boss lady?
Well, that's just something I put on my Facebook
Well, I think
because
it's a
you know
good
why?
catch.
Because for the longest time, women really weren't out there doing their thing, and I just feel like women are so powerful now.
They are.
The goddess energy, all the empowering of women. So I had put that on my Facebook, hashtag boss lady. But I am known as Gypsy Goddess.
Gypsy Goddess, which
Yes.
is a very nice name, and you're beautiful. Your
Oh,
hair,
thank you
and
so
everybody
much.
looks so
And
nice.
she's beautiful
you.
inside.
And this is what is this?
Actually,
That's from me.
that's from Michele. And inside is amethyst crystals and dragon's blood oil. Because, again, for the protection and, just for that comfort and everything, you never know what's out there.
You know what
And
it reminds me
drops
of?
of
When I
oil.
go to church. And
Oh,
they do
right.
the thing, and then in the front of the church with
You know
the
the
smelly
you know
stuff.
the original origin
Yeah.
of those they're called pomodors.
Yes.
Yes.
Is in the Victorian ages they wore them around the dead people, so because there was no such thing as embalming back then.
Oh,
And they said that so they would wear them, to get rid of the smell of the dead person. That's how flowers actually started
Right.
in funeral homes.
So now you're a healing practitioner. So
Yes.
what do you do for somebody? If somebody comes and says, I have cancer, or I don't feel good, or how do you handle it?
So what I do is I'm Reiki certified and I am a certified crystal healer. And crystals, as we've spoken about, have so many healing properties, all different ones. So what happens usually is when your chakras are out of alignment,
Right.
it comes out as physical pain. So when somebody comes to me and they're not feeling right and they're tired all the time or something's happening, what we do is I have them get on my table and I go with my pendulum and I check out all the chakras and see what's out of whack.
How do you do that? By touching them?
So what they do is they lay on the table and I have my pendulum above and I start at the top, the crown chakra.
I think you need to explain what a pendulum is. A lot of people don't know what a pendulum is.
Okay,
Pendulum?
I think I do have a pendulum with me actually. So a pendulum is a crystal on the bottom of a chain, and what you do is the energy comes through, and it's more for like yes or no things. So what I do is I'll hold it above somebody and start at the top, and I'll say, is their crown chakra imbalance? And first I define which is yes and which is no, and usually the circle means no.
How do you find that? How do you realize that? By what?
Okay, so I'm a psychic medium, and what
Yes.
I do is I connect to the white light of God. Always,
Okay.
everything is done through the white
Yes.
light of
Okay.
God. So I ask my guides and my angels to guide me and give me, the information that I need to help this person. So I'll ask, is this chakra in alignment? And then it shows me yes or no. So I go down all of the chakras, and then I see what's out of whack. Then I take my crystals. Now I have chakra stones. So I put them, if my client's okay with it, I actually put it on them. Some people don't want it on, so I'll just put it next to the chakras. And we go through, and then I ask for the white light, the healing to come through me, let me be the conduit, and then I let the healing come through to the people so that this way we can heal and get their chakras all back in balance. And then once I do that, it's probably about 45 minutes I work on somebody from head to toe, and I'll ask them, is it okay if I touch you? And sometimes I'll touch their head, their feet, you know, their shoulders. And then we go through, and then I take my pendulum again, and I go through and see what's happening. And most of the time, by then, everything is back in balance.
Now, when they're laying on that table, they're very calm, right?
They're calm. I have the music on in the background. They're just relaxed. And I tell them first, just take a few deep breaths, just relax. Just don't think about anything and just let it happen. And then we get them back in balance.
Well, I know that when I ask people a lot about their stress, and I'm one of them, I'm starting now that wasn't doing it. What do? They go, just breathe and go to a quiet place. But most people that are high-strung business women like us don't make that time.
No, because you don't have, because you're constantly running from
I'm
the
sure
minute you
do.
open your eyes
And
until
you
you
do,
go to
and
bed.
I bet you do, right?
I never stop. I never stop.
No, it's hard. It's hard to stop.
My first 2 hours is all me, or even more.
That's amazing.
I'm waiting for the sunrise to be
We need
earlier,
to do that.
Yes.
Because
We need to do that.
now sunrise is almost 7:30, so I wake up around 4:30. So I'll do my meditation as soon as I wake up. It's either sunrise or meditation, depending on when sunrise is. Because during like the summer solstice, sunrise can be like 5, around 5.
Yep.
So then I do the sunrise first. But I set the tone for the whole day. My day is always, in fact, I don't have it on now, but you know the Aura ring or the watch?
Yes.
I literally, it measures 0 stress.
Oh, see, that's wonderful.
Oh,
It
great.
does on your
Yeah.
watch?
You could have the Apple Watch that measures your stress, but
really?
I usually wear an Aura ring. I took it off for the show, but it measures that.
It goes by your
everything.
pulse, right? Your pulse, your heartbeat, your pulse.
It does more than the heartbeat pulse. It monitors several different things.
That's
Your
interesting.
HRV, heart rate variable, your body temperature. It monitors like 6
Wow.
different things.
That's
It's really
interesting.
cool.
So now, my friend, do you do these things? Because I'm only starting to learn this
I'm
breathing thing.
listening. I'm listening. I just, there's some things, obviously, because I grew up in a household that has some beliefs. And you're
So did
born
I.
into the Greek Orthodox, and the religion does believe in superstition, in you having the evil eye.
Right.
They do believe in that. My brother-in-law is a priest, and he says we do believe in that. So I know
you're
it
not-
sounds
it's-
it sounds a little
But you know
crazy,
what?
but
Let's go back to the old school. Father, Son, Holy Ghost is what I was taught in 4th grade.
yeah.
Frankincense, myrrh.
Right.
Everything
The
that the
herbs, the
churches
oils.
burn and use. Paganism is the root of everything. Everything, and,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, everything comes back full circle. When people
It
are sick,
does.
they want an answer.
And I also
Right.
have heard about, what you do on people that have been on their hospital bed, like they don't know what's wrong with them.
Right.
And they have said that
It
you have
helps.
saved,
Yeah.
they've been saved by your healings, but the Reiki, they would say that's it, and I've spoken to a lot of people.
It's
And
like
this
the
is the
power of
truth.
prayer. When you say, pray for me or let's pray for this person, and so many people do, and then all of a sudden there's like an unexplained thing that happens. How does that happen?
Well, that's the
You
whole
know?
thing. It's not unexplainable
Right.
anymore.
Right.
Now we can measure it because our thoughts and our intentions are energy waves. They're
Yes.
frequency.
Your
So
words
Yes.
too, the way you say things. Your words
your
mean
your
things.
intentions,
Yes.
and this is why prayer, meditation,
Yes.
because when we're in head coherence, our energy is greater, so we can impact the world and the environment.
and you
around
actually
us.
could put your energy into healing into somebody else. But it's very important that they work with you also.
Oh, they
You know
have
what
to
I mean?
believe. My sister
100%.
did. She
100%.
went to healers. She passed away
Oh,
from
sorry.
cancer at 50. We have a charity in her name. It's called Ria's Angels.
Oh.
And she used to work with me on the show. She's in my book. There were two people in my book that I passed. The woman, Joanne, who's my dear friend, who started this group with me, and then my sister. And when she was sick, she used to be a volunteer, so she used to do, we made her do crazy things to keep her up. But she went to these healing masses, and she believed in it, and she did good. She lived 6 years.
That's great.
After her diagnosis, and
That's great.
she lived every day, and we love her to death.
And
Her name
I
is
love
Maria.
the fact that metaphysical world has grown.
Oh, absolutely.
Just over here in our neighborhood,
It
there's
has.
been like 4 shops that have opened. You know, it's right on my corner. 2 shops opened. Did not even affect my business.
That's good.
For a
You're
moment, a
doing well.
second, I was like, but it didn't. You know,
It actually
but
brings more people, I feel.
It does.
people are enlightened
Sometimes
now.
because now it's awareness, and
Yes.
now everybody that complements each other. I mean, you might be doing something that they might
A
not
little
be able.
different, right?
But
And that's where the
it-
camaraderie comes in, where
Yes.
everybody helps everybody, which is what this is about today. Live
Yes.
networking, but it's not just networking. It's teaching. It's getting it out to the public. It's
That's
people
why
seeing
this is a
normal
great
people
subject.
doing this.
Yeah,
you know.
no,
Yeah.
absolutely.
This is
Yeah.
a great subject. I
Yeah,
mean,
well, I love this. And
you know,
I'm new to this, but trust me,
I
I'm
mean-
getting all the things. And I'm
remember when we were in Salem? Remember, were you with us when we were in Lori Cabot's shop and this guy
Oh,
recognized
absolutely.
me?
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you know me?
But that's
Like, who
nice.
am I? You know what I mean? There I am in
happens.
and I'm very close with Lori Bruno. I speak to her
I know
on the phone.
her. Yeah, I know the name.
She's like she's my spirit mother. She's in another life, I think she was really my mom.
Well, Asia's
And-
that way with all of the people on
You know.
Suffolk County, and I'm not Suffolk, but I'm like adopted Suffolk.
I think she's in the world.
Yeah,
I mean,
have
I think Asia is known
learned so much from
everywhere.
her, and also she's so giving to help you. Tell me
That's
what you want,
her-
and this is what
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
do. You know, and
That's
She's
what it's
helped me a
all
lot.
about.
She's
you
very.
know?
I mean, I find Asia grounded is a good word. Like I feel like she knows.
Oh, absolutely. You
how,
can see her energy. You're very
calming.
grounded
What
and
is
calm.
calming.
Yeah, there is something about you that
she makes you feel safe.
but she
Oh, I
opens
love
up she opens up your mind though also. But
Yes.
she makes you bring you down to close to what it's all about, nature and
Right.
and everything that she does. That I think takes away the stress and having that positive energy and all that. That's
you
what
said
we
the
have
golden
to
words. And if more people practiced mindful thinking,
Right. Well, that's
all
true.
right, and positivity to say, this is happening to me, but it could be worse. Always say, compare. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, sure.
And God helps those who help themselves.
Just be in gratitude.
Too.
I don't
Put
want to
that
talk.
love
I
and
mean,
put that
Asia will
gratitude
tell
out
you,
there.
but
Yeah, she'll
this
talk
is what
about
I
it.
take away, and I don't. I mean, it's just a small part of what she does.
Plus the fact I have to thank Patricia Marie, because that's how I met all these great women from Suffolk County.
Ah.
Patricia is the light of everybody, and we saw her for an hour last night by last minute, who could run, and she said to tell you she didn't know about it, or she would have told you. It was a surprise, and she didn't want you to see if basically. You weren't.
No.
We didn't diss anyone. We just
No.
made it in an hour.
Yeah, one, I wasn't around, so
Yeah.
thank you for thinking of me.
Yeah,
I know.
always.
No, I never.
No,
There would have been a time where I might have felt. but
Yeah.
I do feel so, I don't know, in a really different place where
Good.
I'm just always at peace. And I want to share about, you heard the Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now, right?
Yes.
Now.
Power of now.
Now,
Yes.
okay. So I want to practice something really powerful for you and people that have stress or anxiety. What the thing is, everything is really now, because if I asked you to go to the past, you couldn't go to the past. You would be thinking of the past. You would be thinking of the future. So what happens when people have anxiety is that their ego is addicted to the familiar and the known for them. So for like the past wound, it's kind of like having a scab, and you keep repicking
Because
it.
you're going
thinking,
back.
yeah,
Revisit.
Right.
revisiting it, instead of being like right now. If everyone just looked around their home, wherever you are right now, like I say, my life is beautiful. Like
Yes.
Amen.
I don't watch the news. I don't.
It's hard
get,
if you do.
I don't get the negative stuff. I know the people around me will tell me if there's an emergency or something that I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, the reality, I always say, this is the reality. You are my reality. You are my reality. The things on the TV are not my reality, nor do I want it
It's
to
I'm
be
not a
my
TV
reality.
person at all.
Yeah.
I only watch documentaries. Working with people also can be difficult who are stuck in the past,
Yes.
who won't move forward from childhood traumas, from things that have happened in their lives. They don't
That's
know how to
true.
step out of it, and that's where we come
Right,
in.
because they need to do all
You know?
of that work, because the only way to get through it is you have to deal with it. And you
Yes.
have to bring it up and you have to face it.
Yes,
Then you
accept
can get through
it
it
and move
Yeah.
on with it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
what I started a new thing because I'm certified in Reiki.
No, that's
Ho'oponopono,
fine. Yeah.
Like so many things, but I started giving free EFT, emotional freedom technique.
What is that? Yeah.
So there's so much data and science on it, and also Australia is covered by insurance, and it's also in the American. Someday, crystals, Reiki, all of that will be, but EFT is. You may know it as tapping.
Oh, I know tapping.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I know
it's
tapping.
EFT, emotional freedom technique. So I do it a little differently because we all have some sort of trauma or fear. It doesn't matter, big T or little t. If we were children, we have it. Because when we're little, our brains are so open, and people yelling or people shouting at us or telling us to do something, or some people may have big trauma where things were done to them. But when we get older, we still have that childhood beliefs buried within us,
Yes.
or the fear. We may have fear of public speaking or people
Yes.
seeing us, or fear of being rejected. So all these fears sometimes will accumulate to illness. So what
It all manifests to that.
everything, yeah, all that. So what I do is I have you going into that emotion,
Like right
So-
here.
and your collarbone, or
Oh,
it's
collarbone.
it's mostly taught tapping here.
Oh,
It
okay.
it's
Vagus nerve.
mostly taught here, but I go like this because there's 3 ways to transform a belief. First is to validate it. What people try to do is suppress, and what's going to eventually happen is it's going to burst open, or you forget about it, but you don't really forget about it because your cells always remember. Your body always knows. It never forgets. So you want to transform anything that has bothered you. So first, it's acknowledging it. So how does it make me feel? So you go through the feelings of that belief. So say I have a lot of women who don't feel they're worthy or I'm enough. So when I believe that I am not enough, it makes me feel, and I have them say 3 words. So it's acknowledge, then transform, to the new belief. So you don't jump into the transform, because that transform is trying to push it down. So you have to first accept and let all
I was
this
just
grief.
going to use that word, accept.
Yeah, accept and let all this grief and all this pain out first.
Purge it.
Purge it.
Purge
Yes,
it.
purge.
Yeah.
And then acknowledge, like, okay, do I want to transform it, or open the doorway for transformation? And then you bring in that new transformation. I mean, I literally have everybody, I know within seconds it happens because they just start weeping and sobbing.
that's-
And I've experienced that with people. I mean, I've had people write me cards and letters saying, I'm a completely different person since I met you.
Yes.
Well, it's a good
Because
feeling.
That's
I told
amazing,
them
yeah.
there is beauty in everything. Where when one door closes, another door opens. A baby's being born and somebody's dying. Life is a cycle. And the pain that we experience in our life, if we don't acknowledge it and break through it, and we can even use ourselves as a catalyst to heal other people.
Well, I do that through my book.
I have to buy your book.
Because my book is all about what happened to 70 women on Long Island that were let go because of their age, their intelligence, and their salary.
Wow.
And how we met by accident. It's a whole story. You got to read the book. And from that became the Breakfast Club, the
That's
show,
great.
and now the film industry, the Fontana.
When
That's
I met
great, which is a
Valentina
great show.
5 years ago, I was in a position that I didn't think my life would ever change.
Really?
And guess what? She's 100% right. there's reasons that these things exist that unfortunately, you know, there is some truth to that.
And Valentina, she has a lot of loving energy.
Right.
Because she had called me and I was in Hudson. Remember when you called me?
Yeah, you were away, yeah.
I felt like I knew her my whole life. It was like weird. Like like her voice, everything. I was like, oh my God. Even when I met you before.
Well, it's a gift. You know, it's just a gift. I mean, before I wasn't like that. When I first lost the job, that's when I wrote the first book. And the second book was the second job.
You were allowed to be
It
angry.
was political. And guess what? I still talk to them all. Some of them are in jail. But guess what? It's okay.
But you know what? I think there's a reason, and that's what it comes back to. There's a reason those things happen to us to get us to the next
level.
Right?
To where
You just
you
talk
are.
about
Everything is a lesson.
transformation,
It's so
all those
true.
things.
That's right.
There's a
That's right,
reason that
Kathleen.
we all have to go through that.
Absolutely.
And
So-
now there's a reason we're here now. Like Asia
That's
was saying,
right.
there's a reason we made those choices.
Yes.
Right.
But we had to go through those experiences.
and depression
to
is a killer.
realize that this is right for us at this moment.
And when people use the word mistake to me, I say, shut up. Because it's not a mistake. It was an experience.
Right.
Right.
All right? Whether
was a
it's a
trauma.
marriage
It was a trauma.
or somebody you chose to be a partner that may have not ended up, you know, good like you wanted them to, or a sickness or anything. It's an experience that you go through, and boy, you come out stronger
You
than
make
ever.
choices in your life.
You come out stronger
For
than
a
ever.
reason.
Right.
There's always a reason. And I there's so many things when I look back, even, you know, with my children or with my husband or myself or whatever it is, my family, there was reasons that they had to go. And then
Yes.
now I'm watching, hoping, and obviously always
Things
trying
will
to
change,
give
right.
them positive energy to proceed.
Because your wisdom, I put my wisdom into my children. You know what I
We all
mean?
do,
I,
yeah.
Right.
I think my children are smarter than me. But
We're at the ages now that we
Shows how
are,
you're
you know,
smarter.
you become a crone at 50,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
A crone, I'm almost 60. But, you know,
You're
all our
young.
experiences, you know, it
Hey, I'm
brings us to that
72.
level. Oh, wow. I would never
72
know.
and still
No, no.
going.
Age is just a number.
Yeah.
Right.
It really is
But
just a
now,
number.
Asia, what is harmonizinggrow.com? This is something new. Every
Yeah.
time I meet you, you're doing something new. You're growing and growing.
Yeah. So what I did was I took AI, which
Which is huge.
yeah, and I cloned myself. So if you talk to general AI and say, "Oh, I'm depressed. I want to kill myself," it has at times said, "Okay," right? Which you don't want that answer. So with this AI, I took personality test, value test. So this is an avatar of the things I teach, the way I am. So my values, my highest value is love, compassion, empathy.
That's
So it's instilled with that. So if you need someone to talk to, especially the young people, and they like the avatar better because they don't feel judged.
It's more fun.
It's fun, and
That's a
also
very
you don't
big
feel
word, you
judged,
know.
Judge and
That's a very big word, judge.
Judge, it is.
Yeah.
People judge people. It's
well,
not right.
all the time.
also it's been shown that if you have somebody listening compassionately, your anxiety can be reduced up to 80%.
Yes.
Very
So you don't have to type in anything. You can just talk, and it's 130 languages, and I'll talk back to you. So if you want to read it, you can, but you can just click my voice, and you'll hear my voice.
wow.
My friends love it. They go, "Oh my God, when I miss you, I go on and I talk
That's
to you." and she
nice,
goes,
though. They remember everything.
she goes,
Yeah.
So
That's so nice.
you are 24-hour access,
Yes, yes.
right?
I have this huge
amazing.
businesswoman from Harvard and stuff, and she's like, "This is great for people because it ranges." I really created for the young people who are
Yeah.
having
They need
stress.
it. They need it.
Someone-
Especially this generation.
So someone to have, for them to be validated that you know what they're going through, and also what I do is I ask questions so that the frame of thinking changes, because questioning is like a back door into, because you can't say, "Oh, be happy," or "be this," or you keep
to feel
when
it.
you
Mhm.
tell
You have
someone
to
to
make
do
it.
something, or even ourselves, when we say something, I'm this, or you try to force it, it doesn't work. But questioning opens, I learned this from Harvard neuroscience, it opens like a little crack in the back door for that belief to come in. So a belief is like this table with 4 legs, right? It's solid. And what happens is, like, when we question, it wobbles one of the legs. So if you keep wobbling the different solid, your solid of that belief can collapse. So that's the premise of Harmonize and Grow, because we're all here
It's
to
called
grow.
enlightenment.
Yeah.
Enlightenment.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, there are people that are so religious and they're so lost, and they'll meet a spiritual person and they're like, wow. And I'm all for, go to church. I stop at the chapel by my house all the time. I love Padre Pio. I'm very, very holy.
Well, the thing you
even
said
though I'm
about-
a witch, I'm very,
about
but
the
I'm a good
wobbling
one,
tables, it was just in yesterday's paper that there's a new book coming up about things that happen in restaurants, and one of the biggest complaints from restaurant goers is the wobbling tables. And that really goes with what you're saying. It's not good. It's not good for you if it's in your body, if it's in your era or whatever.
Well, for the belief system, wobbling the table is really good, because you had this, the difference between certainty. So when people have an absolute certainty, it's very difficult to wobble the certainty is almost like their legs are welded into the ground.
So they're into it.
You don't even question.
Yeah.
We don't question our certainty. So by questioning, the way I did it for the longest time was that anytime I got triggered or upset, I would look into myself. Where is this belief system coming from? I'll give you an example. So I had somebody say something like that was very hurtful, saying, you always meditate. And I was like really hurt, because this person is close to me and they should know it's like I feel like it's a total but why is it bothering me? So I had to go question and go in deep, to when was the first time, why did I need acceptance, and when was the first time that I didn't accept myself? And then it was like, oh my God, when I was younger. And because that memory of I needed the acceptance was still in me, that I needed other people to accept me, no matter what.
The past.
Yep, but the earliest memory that you can go into of a similar emotion. So you don't have to remember it all. You just want to go into the emotion. Feel that emotion so that you can release it.
And the golden words. And this is what I tell people too. I've worked with some people who are very difficult also, that won't break out of that.
Yeah.
They keep reverting back. You know what I mean? And I'm like, stop, just move forward.
They're not ready to acknowledge what's
They're
happened
not
to
in
them,
reality,
and they're not
yeah.
right, and they're not ready to
When
let
you
it go.
sit down and say, geez, you know what, I really got an issue here.
And
Yeah,
That's when you
have to address it.
But it takes time
And it's sad
get
to
there.
go out
Yes,
to go
yeah.
through your whole life like that, because life is beautiful and there's so many things that we experience that are good despite what happened to
Right,
us
so many
in our
blessings,
lives.
yeah.
But
You
back to
know?
what you said earlier, I don't feel like it's my job to heal people or to change people. It's for me just to be
Show them the way,
compassionate
right?
and loving, and whoever comes
Yes.
and are open, I'm
Yes.
here sharing. And I give this free resource of the
That's
Tia
wonderful.
But
teaching
you're
once
giving
a
them the
month.
tools so that they can
Yeah.
help themselves.
That's right.
And that's what
That's
it's about.
correct.
That's
You have to
right.
heal your own self,
Yes.
but now you're getting the tools so that you can do that.
So,
Yeah.
Asia, how do people find you on which? I know you have a few things. So
Yeah.
let's
Well-
put down the right one,
Well, harmonizeandgrow.com.
which I have. Right. Mm-hmm.
That's the website, and there's a lot of free resources there.
Okay.
And other is Facebook. If
Facebook.
you just want to be inspired by beautiful
Photos.
photos and sunrise and
Calming.
to start the day.
And actually, she always looks so gorgeous. She has the wardrobe of a queen. Really, you do. You always, and you're so sweet.
Thank
And I
you.
don't want to forget about my friend Irene, who made us a surprise visit. We always have a
Yes.
I am
surprise.
so grateful. I adore.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
So
for
we
being
don't
Thank
have
here.
you.
much,
And I what I bring is so funny, because I am the way I see myself, I'm the opposite, because I'm all about numbers and
banking
and financial stuff, and I provide solutions to help grow a business, right? So a lot of my things are like, people have to see it,
right.
and you have to prove to them how you're going to do it. It's all numbers. I am very transparent when it comes to that. And it's interesting because how do I guess, but it comes down to, I think it still has to do with me. I have to make that positive feeling of that client to believe what I have to say.
Yes, and sometimes you gotta
I can
be.
understand that.
Yeah.
So I think even though my stuff is so black and white, it still comes back to the person.
And the personality,
Oh,
for sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
her energy and vibration
Yes,
and her
yes.
warmth and her caring.
Love goes a
and
long way.
and her support to the people around her.
Yes, she's always there.
and-
Right.
So
Compassion.
She got
So
me
people-
into the
people
silver
see-
jewelry. So
Oh, that's great.
she bought me a beautiful necklace for my birthday, 2 years ago? It was the best thing I ever got, and got me into more hanging one thing, another, because I like that
Layering.
Uh-huh.
Layering
But
it.
not
Exactly.
everybody likes it, but I see you like it.
But
You
I
like it.
had
I
a
love
feeling that it's going to look nice on her.
It does.
You know, but that's the creative part of me is I do love, looking at something things and saying, how can that fit? Bringing it, to that person or to myself, how can I make that work for me? But you know what? I've always done the right thing. That's what I feel. Do the right thing. You'll sleep at night. And if it doesn't make you, I'm not looking to put money in my pocket because
Oh,
I've
I
been-
do a lot of services for free.
Well, we all
it's
do.
not just a free. It's also
just what you want.
It's
what to do.
like you need to
Feel good.
educate the customers
Yes.
and anybody out there and make them think about you for whatever reason.
As a resource, too.
That's it. That's
Right,
it.
right.
That's
so
the
now
word.
Heartland, what is your
So I provide credit card processing for businesses. So I help them get paid, but I look at the lowest possible cost by training them how they're doing business and customizing that solution. Because just because you're set up, to take credit cards doesn't mean that you have the best solution for
No,
your business. So I look at that, and I work for a company that provides me the solutions that is for any business. So it's not just, the counter terminal, but if you're looking to accept credit cards online, if you're looking to
Any
over the
industry,
phone,
right.
e-commerce, any industry, each of those industries has a certain solution that pertains to what their needs are. Business to business is different than business to consumer. So if you're working with other businesses, you need a certain type of solution compared to working with consumers. So all those things, that's where, my background, my science and math background.
That's great. You gotta be smart for
Because
that.
I love, I was very good
and
in those
also, because we're
things.
starting to run out of time, the Corellis.com. Her
Right.
husband
I'm married
and I have
to
a cheese company.
yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, so I'm married to my husband represents a farm from Greece that has 10,000 goats and sheep, and they the company is called Kourellas, Kourellas. They're in Whole Foods, and we also manufacture Greek yogurt, and we won first prize for our brand new flavor, which is blood orange tangerine. But we have
It's probably
many
very,
flavors.
very tasty. Yeah.
It is.
We
It is.
ship
I
it
thought
from
I
your
brought
company?
you some. Yeah.
You ship straight from your company?
Well,
Distributor.
the product goes to a supermarket, and then you can find it. Like in North Shore Farms has the yogurt, and
I
Whole
go to
Foods has
Bacalico.
Bacalico.
Bacalico is how you say it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love their stuff. You
Yeah.
know?
Okay.
So it's interesting. Our stuff is it's made from Greece, and we bring it, and it's packaged. It's more for nationwide. We tend to try to bring it more on the supermarket level. So we deal with, my husband deals with mostly supermarkets.
I'm gonna look for it in Whole
And
Foods.
we had it on the show. Everybody loved it.
yeah,
And they sent me home with some, which was nice.
Some good
Had it for
feta
2 days.
cheese.
So
But,
thank you
yeah.
so much for coming. And
Yeah.
for the gift, I don't have time to open it, but we'll open it later.
No worries.
And I also want to, Bobby, we'd like to wish Susan Piggy a get well. I think we have a clip up there. There she is. She's our decorator. She's our everything girl. She's not here today. We tried to do as good as you did. Hopefully you approve. I also have something coming up with the Sons of Italy. It's coming up on November 19th. It's Meet the Author. And I'll be with all the Italianos. So hopefully,
All the paisans.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. And all the old ladies cook. And it's a really nice night. And it's going to be in Lynbrook. And I want to let everybody know that our Thanksgiving show will be on Tuesday, November 26th instead of Thursday, because we always do Thursdays. So you're all welcome to come. We'll probably have something special, maybe a Friendsgiving. And the Christmas show will be on Monday instead of Thursday, because I think ahead. And then we also have Champions for Charity. Quick, say something about it. We have the Champions for Charity coming up.
Yeah, can I just
Yes,
turn it
go ahead.
around and just show this to? So our good friend is the Michael Magro Foundation. So it is one of the charities that if you go online to Champions for Charity and you register at championsforcharity.org, you can choose her foundation, and you get 25% in the first week of December, from Thursday, December 5th to Saturday, December 7th, shopping at the Americana. That's
Americana is beautiful.
big savings. So your pre-tax purchases will be
Vanessa.
donated to the charity that you choose. So you can draw down, and you can choose 100% for Michael Magro, or there's other charities as well.
And I'll have it on my website, on my Facebook. I did send it, but I had a problem with the last minute. I had some last minute things today. So, but Terry's great. She has a great charity.
Yes.
And it was just a big thing the other night, and it was really beautiful. It really came out nice. And on top of all that, we always have events to do, small. I do less is more now, because I used to do big ones. You're getting older. It's not as easy. I do less is more. But my events tend to be more, like this.
Intimate.
Up to 25, because I can't do it no more, Unfortunately, we're getting old, right, ladies? You got to take it in a little and, do a little bit less. And that's what I do now. The show is available every Thursday. You need promotion, come see Bobby. You need a video. He's great. You see this place. Are you impressed? Or what?
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's great.
Beautiful
Unbelievable place. And I always say at the end of every show, we were going to do this. We don't have time, but you should look into it. It's the unseen realm of cats. And she has a little Ouija board that somebody gave me today, which we could have done. We could do it another time.
Sure.
And somebody gave it to me as a gift for the show. And I thought that was different, but I said, I don't know how to do this. I know how to talk. I know how to network. I know how to get people together and camaraderie, But if anybody needs an article in any newspapers, I'm doing that on the side. If you need an article, call me. And it's a lot cheaper to be at the Breakfast Club show than it is to be in PR. I call it PR in your pocket.
Oh.
It's 1/3 the price of print and 1/3 the
That's
price
great.
of someone coming to you and doing a video. And then you keep this video for life. And every day you use it for your marketing. It's very different. And
Beautiful.
everybody should come in and try it one day. Tell your friends. Tell them that you sent me. My books, ValentinaJanik.com. You see them there. Your website again, or where do they reach you?
GypsyGoddessLLC.com.
Where do they
The
reach
Witch's
you?
Parlor, the Witch's Parlor on Facebook and Instagram.
Yours again?
harmonizinggrow.com.
And?
Heartland.US and Corellas.com.
Very good. So one of you, I don't care which one, volunteer, give someone some advice for the next day. What should they do today, tomorrow, this month to make them feel good?
I could say it.
Go ahead.
Wake up and say, I live my life to the best that I could have it. And I want to be happy, and I make my own happiness.
Very nice. And you know what I say every day? Get up, get dressed, show up. That's my mantra in my book, From Fire to Freedom. Check it out. It's a great book. Every story is true,
I will
including the prostitute story that we met this lady and we helped her. She lived in her car. But you know what? She's now working, and guess what she does? She likes to be loved. She's a hugger now. She gets paid to be a hugger.
No.
Is that a positive story?
I love that.
That's great.
So every story in that book is true. I'm
I'm excited
you.
to read it.
And we met her in a, crazy bar. When you're out of work,
Yeah.
guess what? You do a lot of lunch sometimes somewhere.
Yeah.
And you meet great people.
Yeah.
And everyone makes fun of my cards. You're getting one in your little gift. But you know what? This is what helped me grow, because I couldn't afford the usual PR rates. That's why I do this for people. So this is
Wonderful.
for you.
It's wonderful.
And this is for
Thank
you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank
And that's for
you.
you. And I have one more over here that I think.
Don't worry. I just wanted to mention that what I learned recently is a term called glimmer, and it's the opposite for trigger. So glimmers are those moments in your day that makes you feel joy, happiness,
Love
peace, or gratitude. So once you look for those glimmers, you train your brain, those little tiny moments will appear more and more. So that's what
And it'll set off those endorphins
And guess
in your
what,
head.
guys? That was a great show. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
everybody.
Valentina.
And you know what? That's a wrap. So guess what we do? Throw the ball. Great show.
Thank you.